Okay, welcome back to this week's edition of the Barroom Blitz. All new. Everyone is here tonight. We are all in the fold. We got Patzek, we got Cheeks, we got Dom. Dead guy shows up. He's behind the camera. That guy, well, you know, hot off the froth course. He is. We got me, Jimmy, Casey. We're going to bring you a new segment tonight. It's Michael Patzek's Fantasy Corner.
Fantasy Corner, just like Rowdy.
We are inside the huddle with Patzek.
It's a Patzek's
Here to
Pit.
take you straight more.
Patzek's Pit.
Patzek's Pit.
There you go.
I like the big P too. You know what I mean?
Capital P. Patzek's Pit.
I like the
Double P.
Only not in my bed. It's no fun when you pee in your bed.
All right. Well, you know, Pat. Now you're going to give us some ideas and stuff. Like, how about like if we're got fantasy? Who's the guy that everyone wanted after the first week? You know, there's always that one guy that's undrafted. Who was the guy that everybody was? Like,
everyone.
I think like you see that Eric Decker had 2 touchdowns. Is that a guy you look for? Like, you know, try to sneak on your team.
Yeah, I mean,
because when I used to do the fantasy league, I was a get guy, but I like hide him. You know, or try to grab a guy that's there. You know,
pretty much everyone after the first week was hitting that waiver wire trying to look for Cadillac Williams because Steven Jackson goes down, Devery Henderson because Colston goes down, who of course I'm a Colston owner, and you have to basically do those plug and plays. But I mean, is Cadillac Williams really better than the guys on your bench like Jonathan Stewart, who just caught 8 balls and 100 yards? If you would have played him instead of Cadillac Williams, absolutely, that's the kind of calls you have to make. Now, Devery Henderson ended up having a good game, couple touchdowns, you know what I mean? And he's going to be that way until Colston comes back in another 3-4 weeks. So, I mean, Devery Henderson right now is a very playable player, but the biggest heartache for everybody...
How about a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick? Do we play him?
Yeah, are you sold on him? You want to start him?
If you have Vic, I mean, he's one to look at picking up if he's still available.
Cam Newton?
Cam Newton's another one.
I mean, for numbers, I'm looking numbers, you know?
Purely fantasy numbers, he's awesome. They're not even giving the ball to D'Angelo or Jonathan down on the goal line. Cam Newton's running that in.
Any huge disappointments yet? I mean, I know it's only week 2. Is there a guy that's just done nothing 2 week back-to-back
Chris
week?
Johnson, one of the biggest ones in the entire league.
Probably number
right
one top 5 pick in every league.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the 2 top running backs are out, right? Foster ran once.
Foster came back and re-aggravated that hamstring again. Jamal Charles, who was on top 3, top 4 pick.
How about a quarterback like Andy Dalton? Would he be good for a week? You know, you just try to find the right matchup or the right team?
The thing about them is that Cedric Benson's going to touch the ball 26 times. Now, is it going to be the Cedric Benson that gets you 4.5 yards per carry? Or is it going to be Cedric Benson that gets you 3.2 yards per carry?
He's throwing for over 300. I mean, I'm just saying like maybe you have a bye week coming up and you got to look.
AJ Green is going to be the best receiver that franchise has ever had. I'm not talking Ocho Cinco good. I'm talking Randy Moss good.
Really?
AJ Green is a player.
Do you think that's a good pairing with Dalton? Because Dalton looks like a pretty decent quarterback.
That was a good pick by them. I'm surprised. Like, Dalton looks like he belongs, no doubt about
Dalton
it.
the quarterback?
Red hair.
There's another guy.
Andy Dalton. Carson Palmer came back.
No. There must be another.
There's another Palmer. The Palmer's brothers.
Carson Palmer sipping beers, just watching this unfold.
He's a millionaire.
Do you think D'Angelo will get hot? Do you think Carolina's going to go back to the running?
I personally own both of them. Thinking D'Angelo, I picked him up in the 5th round, thinking that was a good value pick if he went back to how he was 2 years ago for his season-ending injury.
Do you look for like receivers on like Buffalo, like since
Nelson is Stevie Johnson? I mean, they're good players, you know, but they like to spread the ball there. That their tight end Chandler's also been catching touchdowns. I say Ryan Fitzpatrick's smart. He's not going to key in on one guy. He likes to spread that field, and Fred Jackson's getting a lot of touches.
Now, how about since Arian Foster is still hurt, does that make Matt Schaub's value go up even more?
Ben Tate is a hot play next week.
Tate's a big guy.
Yeah. But it's Ward.
They have Derek Ward.
Derek Ward's also hurt, and they have Steve Slayton. And there's been a lot of talk about Steve Slayton, who's been pretty much. Remember 2 or 3 years ago?
2 years ago, he was a hot pick.
Oh
yeah,
he was like
a
top 10 pick, and he's nowhere. Everyone's saying he might be a little trade bait from to pick up a linebacker or a safety. So who knows? Steve Slayton could be a very like a nice flyer later in the season. You know what I mean?
I think a real dud is Gore. I think Gore has lost.
He'll get his touches. And the thing about fantasy is, do you want the guy that's going to touch the ball 4 or 5 times? Maybe get like a guy like everyone was playing. What's the guy from the Packers? The white guy.
Starks.
Jordy Nelson, right?
Oh, he's a receiver.
Wide receiver.
He caught 1 ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I believe it might have been a touchdown, even still. But like, you want to play that guy? Or you're going to play a guy like Gore? Because Gore's going to touch the ball like 20 times.
Yeah,
Will he get his 1-yard touchdown? Who knows? You know what I mean? But
I think he lost a step. I really do.
I'll tell you.
He looked. I thought he was going to run on Dallas, who has trouble with the run, and he did really nothing.
The thing is that Alex Smith has just held that franchise hostage for. I mean, he's just Vernon Davis. He has done absolutely. I think he had 2 catches yesterday.
Right,
2.
he's a
Vernon
stud.
Davis would be on. Imagine him on the Eagles.
Yes.
Hot tight ends, Fred Davis, another Davis for Washington.
Do you jump on the Tony Gonzalez bandwagon, or you just write it up because he played the Eagles?
He's old.
Is he that one stat makes him look good the whole time?
Right. Then you know someone's picking him up this week. Oh, I'll take Gonzalez.
There's a guy in my league that played him, and I was like sick just seeing it. But I mean, you can't play those guys. You know what I mean?
Tight ends too. There's only like what 3 or 4 that make
the tight ends
legitimate points
next week. The way since they lost Randy Moss, New England, they've been going back to that tight end throwing like Gronkowski and Hernandez. Both. Gronkowski got 2 touchdowns yesterday. Hernandez had 1. The week before, Hernandez had 100 yards and a touchdown.
Right, so he's going back to the safety valves.
Hernandez has an MCL sprain. He's not playing next week, which makes Gronkowski a monster next week. So.
What about the San Diego tight end? Nothing.
Gates.
1 target. Vincent Jackson caught 10 catches.
Vincent Jackson.
Gates
I was all over that. I was
That's
like,
a superstar.
Oh, they could not stop him. Nothing they did. And Rivers is one of the best downfield throwers there is. I mean, that is
Selleck had a big game last night for a tight end.
Selleck always drops balls when it kills him.
I don't think Vincent Jackson had a very good week the week before.
No, he only had 2 catches. They would drive me insane.
Because I had him also.
Well, they were throwing,
big 5 points.
To Gates. They were throwing to Gates. But the thing is, imagine if Gates is hurt, Vincent Jackson might, besides Calvin Johnson, Vincent Jackson might be one of the best in the top 3 in the game. Andre will always get his. I mean, that's the thing about fantasy. You never sit your studs. You know what I mean?
Great segment, Patrick, and we will give you one every week, so we'll get you more fantasy.
I hope he does better next week.
Yeah. No, pick up McCluster, too. Thomas Jones is not the one to have there. It's McCluster. I'm calling it now.
Where? In Kansas City?
Kansas City?
McCluster's too small.
McCluster's going to have the
too
big
small.
plays. It's going
My
to be
advice
Jones.
is drop every Kansas City player you have, and definitely don't get their defense.
If you have Charles,
Matty.
You need to fill in that hole. I'm telling you, McCluster could be a sneaky player. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and we will be back with our final segment of the night. We'll see you back for some more Barber and Blitz.